sure we're all anxious for this. I've only got 4 pages, and I'm cognizant of my time. But, you know, one of the first things that, you know, some of the things I wanted to ask have been answered already. But one of the big things that I have a problem with and always have had is variable rates. And it's my understanding that there are several hundred competitive electric generation suppliers licensed by the Commission to sell electric generation to consumers. Does the Commission oversee this large number of suppliers to ensure its compliance and statutory and regular requirements? And following up, I continue to be concerned about the marketing used by suppliers that gets consumers to sign up for contracts with teaser or promotional rates. And a case in point, when we had the polar vortex just a couple years ago, you had over 50,000 complaints about people being taken over on variable rates. I had thousands coming into my office, and literally thousands, because the legislators, when they got complaints, it came over to me. And I will never forget, in my office, when I sat at one end of the table, and a minister from a pastor from a small church right outside of Harrisburg was sitting at the other end. He showed me bills. His electric and heating rates were $500 a month for his small church. He got a bill for $2,500 for a month. The following month, it was $2,000. And he absolutely broke down and cried in my office and said, "What do I do, and what are they going to do to us?" And that was just one of the complaints that I had in this polar vortex on variable rates. At that time, I went on a mission to try to eliminate variable rates from the residential community and also from small enterprises, which I was lost out on. I still think that that's right. I still think it's wrong. And what's happening today is just a couple weeks ago, I gave to June Perry, who works for you, 2 cards that I got in the mail. We want to save you electric. We're going to save you electric. You'll reduce your rates. And we're giving you $50 to sign up with us. And I gave June those. I didn't keep a copy of them, but she has. I hope you got them. Because there was nothing else said except we're going to save you electric. We're going to save your rates. Your bills are going down. They had no idea if that's true or it isn't true. They have no idea at all. And I just got one the other day. I've got another one right here that I brought along with me that I found in my desk. Guaranteed, this was got to me last year. This was in 16. Guaranteed seasonal price protection through 2016. It says, guaranteed seasonal price protection through 2016 in red letters. Underneath, it says, lock in a low fixed rate to avoid volatility. And when it used fixed rate right underneath what was obviously up above a variable rate, it's confusing to begin with. And then it follows up. There are no enrollment fees, and we're giving you a $50 Visa gift card for joining up with us. And the language down at the bottom of this, in very, very small print, if you can see it, there's a $90 an early termination fee of $99. And when this stuff goes out to the consumer, to the little guy, and to the little ratepayer, when this kind of stuff goes out, they have no idea what they're paying per kilowatt to begin with. And I'm not sure how many people in here today know what they're paying per kilowatt, and even at the table that's up in front of me. They have no idea. But when you get a card say that I am going to reduce your electric rates, and I'm giving you $50 up front to do it. You know, I think that's misleading. I don't think it should be done. And that's supposedly, I thought, what you guys were going to stop.
Chairman Godshall, thank you very much for the question. You and I have had several conversations about this and your concern, and we at the PUC continue to try to address them. Yes, we have over 400 electric suppliers that we do license here in Pennsylvania. And as I stated before, with our regulations, our emergency regulations that we did in 2014, it was to provide the consumer with more information, more disclosure, more notice in terms of when these contracts would come up. I know the variable contracts are a concern for you, but in terms of the competitive market, our role was to make sure that the market was still robust, but to make sure that we protect the consumer, providing them with that additional information. I know, as I stated before, you and I have had continued conversations about variable rates, and I think if the Commission, if the General Assembly would decide to pass legislation that would prohibit variable rates, we at the Commission would, of course, be compliant with that.
Chairman Brown, we never authorized variable rates to begin with, to the best of my knowledge. That was done by the PUC.
Well, in terms of the competitive market, what the General Assembly did do back in 1996 is to remove generation from the jurisdiction of the PUC and stated on the record, as I recall standing there late at night, let the marketplace decide, let the marketplace set the rates and set the plan. So that's what the PUC was following in terms of the legislative intent of the General Assembly.
When somebody down in my district or North Philly or any place else got in big red letters, we're giving you a $50 Visa gift card to sign up with us, and we're going to save you energy, period, done. When I checked this out, when I checked this one out, I found out that their teaser rate or their promotional rate was more than double what I'm paying now. And that was the promotional rate, or their teaser rate.
Mm-hmm. And that's the type of information.
But it just said, we'll save you, and here's a $50 card. We're giving you this card for free.
And that's the type of information that we need to have before the PUC.
I gave it to you.
And
it happens all the time.
We appreciate all the information that you do give to us so that we can give our Bureau of Consumer Services to check out this information.
Do you allow this to happen? I mean, are these companies, did they send you this stuff before they send it out and your approval?
I don't know that we get to approve everything, but I know that our Bureau of Consumer Services does work with the companies to make sure that they're compliant with our regulations. So
this is allowed by your regulation, what I just read to you.
Chairman Godshall, I will not say that it's allowed. Information that is upfront and providing disclosure to the consumer, we're making sure that they're all in compliance. But as I stated before, we continue to look at all that information that you do send to us.
But the 1.7 million customers in PICO territory, I'm sure they get the information that you supply before they make those changes when somebody offers them $50. It doesn't happen. But, but that's an issue that I have. I just think variable rates shouldn't be at the consumer level, at the household level, and I don't think it should be at the small business level. The other thing, when I wanted to, on one call, have you had many complaints about the one call as of this point, the way it's being run today?
Have we had formal complaints filed? I don't know that I can.
On the activities of one call and how they operate, and how they are operating.
Well, there are a number of different sides to this. The excavators are pretty unhappy and pretty frustrated with the way the system works currently, and that they would like to see better enforcement, better marking in the field, and they believe that would make their job easier. We've talked with the facility owners who exhibit frustration, and we have visited with some of them in the field where they actually have full-time teams that deal specifically with one-call line hits. That's all these folks do day in, day out, is to deal with line hits in the field. Some are of non-consequence. Others are very significant. You hit a fiber line in downtown Philadelphia, that's catastrophic. You hit a 2-inch water line in rural Pennsylvania, it may not be as significant. So we have heard, and we are responding and reacting to those concerns. Again, the goal here is safety, and I believe that's the best thing we can do at the Commission is to help improve safety in the
Okay,
field.
I do know at this point, and Stan, just be with me for a moment. I do know at this point that one call takes in approximately $11 million a year. So expanding that thoroughly throughout all of the natural gas and Marcellus, how much more is that going to cost to operate one call?
I can't speak to the operation of one call. One call is the technological platform on which all of this information is generated, and tickets are issued to facility owners to mark their facilities in the field. What we are trying to address at the Commission is the enforcement piece. It's when people are violating the law after those facilities may not have been marked or marked incorrectly or marked and hit. That's the piece that we are trying to get at from a safety standpoint and trying to reduce the number of line hits in the field. And I truly believe everybody wins with this. Facility owners win. Contractors win. They don't want to be out in the field and doing what we learned in Armstrong County and finding that it's Russian roulette for a contractor if you're in the area where there's a spider web of Class 1 lines in the field. And I understand and appreciate that.
Well, the money coming into one call is $11 million a year at this point. What additional monies would have to go into when you expanded almost 100% the duties of one call? Would it double the $11 million to 22?
Mr. Chairman, then that has to be the last question.
And again, maybe...
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Maybe I'm just not and I'll try to be as brief as I can, Chairman. Thank you. Maybe I'm just not understanding the question. I'd be happy to talk with you afterwards. But the cost of enforcing the one-call law is not a cost that would be borne by the one-call organization or generated by the one-call organization.
It'd be borne by the consumers. Me.
Well, it's going to be
all of you. We'd be paying for it.
the way that the legislation is currently proposed. It would be paid for by the violators of the one-call law, and those fines would be used to offset the cost of the commission, which is about $650,000 a year to increase one-call enforcement. Thank you, Chairman.